At 2:14, my phone rang. Not my ringtone, slower, deeper, like an old telephone at the bottom of a well. The caller ID showed my name and my own number. I answered. No greeting, only breathing, my breathing. Then my voice whispered, "Whatever happens, do not open the bedroom door at 2:17. The line died. The clock read 2:15. Across the apartment, a deadbolt unlocked. The front door opened. I lived alone on the 5th floor. My front door had a deadbolt, a security chain, and a smart lock. I had heard every one of them open. I stayed frozen beneath the blankets, telling myself the sound came through the walls. Then cold air moved under my bedroom door. It smelled like wet concrete in an underground tunnel. One bare footstep pressed into the living room floor. I checked my phone. No security alert, no motion warning, nothing. Another step came closer, then another. They crossed the living room and stopped outside my bedroom. I reached for the phone to call the police. Before I could unlock it, the screen lit again. My name, my number, calling for the second time. I answered immediately. My voice on the other end sounded breathless, as if he had been running. "You have less than 2 minutes. At 2:17 it will knock 3 times. Do not speak. Do not move. Whatever voice you hear, do not open the door. Who are you?" The footsteps stopped directly outside. "I'm you." The call ended. The clock read 2:16. Its final digit flickered, struggling to change. Then the apartment went completely silent. No traffic. No air conditioning, not even the clock. It felt as if the whole world had stopped to listen. At 2:17, 3 knocks shook the bedroom door. The handle began to turn, slowly, carefully, but I had locked it before bed. It stopped halfway. Then a woman spoke from the hall. "Daniel, open the door." It was my mother. She lived more than 1,000 miles away, but the voice was perfect. The same softness, the same worried pause after my name. "Please, sweetheart, something happened. I need your help." Every instinct told me to answer. I covered my mouth and stayed still. The voice breathed against the wood. "Daniel, I know you're awake." The warmth vanished. "Open the door." The handle jerked. One fingernail dragged from the top of the door to the floor. When it reached the bottom, it started again. "You did well. It can't enter unless you let it convince you." "What is it?" "I don't know. I never saw its real face." "How do I stop it?" "You don't. You survive until 2:21. The clock read 2:18. 3 minutes should not have felt long. In that room, with something wearing my mother's voice outside, it felt endless. What happens at 2:21? Interference swallowed the answer. "Stay away from the door." The scratching stopped. Bare feet moved down the hall. Then my phone received a photograph from my own number. The photograph showed my bedroom from the ceiling corner. I could see myself on the bed, holding the phone, looking at the photograph. It had been taken seconds ago. I looked up. No camera, no shelf, only 2 bare walls meeting in darkness. A second image showed the hallway. A man stood with his back to my door. Gray t-shirt, black shorts, my height, my build, my hair. Then the image moved. It was live. The figure turned toward the camera. His face would not focus, but his smile stretched almost to his ears. A third image arrived. The hallway was empty. I watched the bedroom handle. Nothing moved. Instead, my own voice whispered from beneath the bed, "He's not outside anymore." I threw myself off the mattress. Something crawled beneath it. Fingernails touched the floorboards and moved toward the edge. The phone rang. "You moved. It's under the bed." No, that was a trick. It wanted you away from the door. I looked up. The handle was turning, not from the hallway. The lock inside my room rotated by itself. I shoved a wooden chair beneath the handle. For 1 second it held. Then the chair began sliding across the floor, pulled by something I could not see. What happens at 2:21? The first version of the night ends. You wake again at 2:14. How many times? I don't know anymore. Sometimes you hide in the bathroom. Sometimes you climb through the window. Once you called the police. They arrived at 2:17, but when you opened the door they had your faces. Every time you die, the night begins again. Every time you survive, it changes something. How do you know? Because I remember doing it. The lights flashed on. In the window reflection, someone stood behind me with my face, my clothes, and my terrified expression. Its eyes watched the phone. Darkness returned. The chair scraped away. The door opened 1 inch. My own voice came from the hallway. "Don't listen to him." Close the door. I hit it with my shoulder. Something pushed back. Fingers curled around the edge. Almost human, almost mine, except every finger had an extra joint. He isn't calling from the future. He's calling from the previous loop. You trust him. You survive. The night starts again. Ask him why. It's lying. The thing could have overpowered me. It didn't. It waited. The clock changed to 2:20. Ask what happens when you survive. What happens after 2:21? The caller's silence answered first. Then you take my place. The pressure stopped. My phone showed 2:20 and 41 seconds. This was not a warning, it was a handover. The caller had once sat in my room. Someone taught him the rules and kept him alive. When he survived, the loop transferred. Now he needed me. One of us remains outside the loop. One remains inside. Please, Daniel, I've been trapped here for years. I don't sleep. I only wait for the phone to ring. Release me. 10 seconds. Beyond my window. The city was an empty copy. No cars, no people, no lights. Eight seconds. I released the bedroom door. It swung open. The hallway was empty. The front door stood wide at the far end, but beyond it was no building corridor. Only darkness. 4 seconds. The caller began to beg, "Please, don't do this. I can't stay here anymore." 3, 2, 1. The clock changed to 2:21. Every light went out, and I woke in bed. At 2:14, a frightened woman answered. I tried to warn her. My mouth disobeyed. Whatever happens, do not open the bedroom door at 2:17. My face smiled in the darkness. Every night the phone chooses someone new. Tonight, it might call you.